So, welcome to my dear students. Basically, this is for my NEET students. It's a very important topic I'm going to discuss today. This is all about female reproductive cycle. So, the things starts from our hypothalamus. It's trigger our uh, uh, hypothalamus uh, through the signaling chemical called gonadotropin releasing hormone. This GnRH, it stimulates anterior pituitary and this master gland. This pituitary is called the master gland. This will release to another signaling chemical or hormones called follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. Okay. Now, if you that female reproductive cycle, it's a periodic uh, phenomena, uh, and that is from that is uh, 28 to 30 days, or sometime 32 or 35 days also. This will repeat. Okay. So the average we can take, this is 28 days, and that broadly this 28 days, it is divided into two phase. One is follicular phase, another is luteal phase. Okay. So there will be certain changes in the ovary and the endometrium. Basically, this two major structure of female reproductive system is involved in this aspect. Okay. So once the uh, uh, this uh, follicular uh, stimulating hormone and the uh, you can as I told in the earlier slide, that once the GnRH is triggered, the anterior pituitary, it will release mm, uh, this follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone, and that will travel uh, through the bloodstream, and in the ovary there will be several capillaries, and through that capillary it will enter inside the ovary, and there will be during this 28 days there will be certain changes. Okay. So the once the follicle stimulating hormone and the luteinizing hormone, it entered inside the ovary, then the primordial follicle, okay, the primary follicle, it is start to develop, and it will uh, become secondary follicle, and after that, so there will be this primary follicle, there is a during the follicular phase, the uh, primary follicle, it will develop and it will convert to secondary follicle. Okay. And after that, at the beginning of the luteal phase, this matured follicle, it will get ruptured and the ovum will be released. Okay. And that ovum will travel through this follicle, and it will finally come to the uh, uh, your uterus. Okay, and after the follicle is ruptured and the ovum, it is the ovum is liberated from it, then that follicle is called corpus luteum. And then this corpus luteum don't have that much except to releasing some hormone. It does not have that much work, and it start to degenerate, and finally it will become corpus albicans. And during this changes, there are a certain hormone also will be releasing. Okay, so now let us understand. You see the how complicated process it is. So when the cycle started, that means the menstrual the when the menstruation started, that means the shedding of the uterine lining. So the GnRH, the concentration, it will slowly, it will be this red line what I'm drawing, that is GnRH. Okay, that gonadotropin releasing hormone. Here you can see up to this point around till 10 days, even though the GnRH concentration is increasing and it is stimulating the follicle stimulating hormone and the luteinizing hormone. Okay, that means this the follicular stimulating hormone is this green line, this green line, and the luteinizing hormone is this line. See, the till 10 days, there is uh, uh, the, it is there is no significant concentration increase of FSH and uh, your luteinizing hormone. Okay, that means when is a this is a you try to understand in this way that when the uh, uh, follicle start to the primary follicle is developing to secondary follicle. Okay, it will release estrogen. Okay, now you see that yellow color, it is once the follicular phase started. This is during at the beginning of the cycle. So the estrogen also, the estrogen concentration also start to increase, but still up to you see around this period till 11 or 12 days, even though your gonadotropin releasing hormone concentration is still increasing, but this up to a certain lower concentration of estrogen, it will inhibit the follicle stimulating hormone and the luteinizing hormone, even though hypothalamus produces sufficient GnRH. So that means till 11 to 12 days, due to the inhibitory action of estrogen at its lower concentration, even though hypothalamus is producing sufficient gonadotropin releasing hormone, but it will the suppress to produce anterior pituitary to release follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. Clear? So basically, what estrogen, basic function of estrogen is it's a basically it's a primary female sex hormone that regulates the productive system, develops secondary sexual characteristics, and maintains bone density, cardiovascular health, brain function. Mainly it promotes the uterine lining growth, the vaginal health, and the breast development, etc., etc. Okay. So now, after these 10 to 12 days, once uh, um, um, there is a significant development in the follicle, and it is developing to mature follicle, that time further the estrogen concentration will increase. Okay, you see here, sorry, you see the estrogen concentration, it is in peak here, and that time basically at the higher concentration of estrogen, now this is a positive effect, and there is a surge of, you see, the luteinizing hormone and the follicle stimulating hormone. And due to the surge of luteinizing hormone and the follicle stimulating hormone, this will rupture the matured secondary follicle, and your ovum will be released. So till that, this will happen at the 14th day. Means the 0th day is counted the day from which the uh, uterine shedding started, the bleeding started. Okay. From that, around half of at the means, if it is the cycle is 30 days, then it will be 14 days. 28 days means 14 days. 35 days means 17 days, like that. So here we consider 28 days, so we will discuss based on that time duration. So at 14th day, due to the high concentration of the estrogen, there will be surge of luteinizing hormone and the follicle stimulating hormone, and that will cause to rupture the follicle, and the egg will come out. Okay. And from that point of time, your luteal phase started, and that when the ovum it come out, it liberated from uh, secondary follicle, that phenomena is called ovulation. Okay. Now coming to the starting of luteal phase. After ovulation, the dead follicle, now the follicle don't have that much role. Okay. This dead follicle is called corpus luteum, that will release, and you see there is a blue color, another these things hormone. Till the starting of luteal phase, that concentration was very low, and once the ovulation over, this that blue line, which is basically concentration of progesterone, that start to increase. Okay. And also this corpus luteum will release another hormone called inhibin. So that was also, it will be like this something. Okay. So now once the follicle ruptured and corpus luteum is formed, this will further release progesterone, means it will, the concentration of progesterone and inhibin will increase, and that two hormone again will suppress the follicle stimulating hormone. And you see, that's why the this uh, uh, that green line and the LH, FH, follicle stimulating hormone and the luteinizing hormone, again it come down once the luteal phase started. Okay. And here, if you see in this case, if you see here earlier also I drawn your GnRH also, it will be like this. So this your inhibin, it will suppress follicular stimulating hormone, and this progesterone, it will suppress the GnRH. If GnRH is suppressed, then eventually this will suppress further the release of luteinizing hormone and FSH. Okay. Now this progesterone, the main function of the progesterone is for the endometrial growth. Okay. There will be, the bed will be, now the endometrium is ready for implantation. Okay. It is waiting. Now nice bed is made. Now that is waiting for the uh, implant. Okay. Now if if the sperm fertilizes the egg, this resulting the embryo, means this will this once it is fertilized, and the embryo will send one signal through HCG, and that, you know, that this is basically in during the pregnancy test, this concentration, that beta HCG is tested using that kit. Hmm. And once it is fertilized, that this embryo sends this signaling through the HCG to corpus luteum, instructing to remain active and continue to producing the progesterone for approximately 10 to 12 weeks. Because if progesterone is not there, then the lining will start to shed. Okay. So you see how much complicated. So many people are there, and perfect communication is happening. It's a very, very complicated process. Okay. This sustained progesterone is crucial for maintaining the uterine lining, as I told, and supporting the early pregnancy until the placenta is developed enough to take over. Otherwise, if the, due to some reason, the progesterone level fall down, then again the uterine shedding will start. That again period will start. So it will it will be aborted. Okay. In normal case, if pregnancy, means if the sperm not fertilizes the egg, so the corpus luteum has its limited lifespan, about 10 to 14 days, the half of the cycle period. Okay. So if no fertilization occurs, it stops producing the progesterone. And finally, as I shown you in that, this slowly this corpus luteum started to degenerate, and finally it will come to corpus albicans. Okay. and this will drop in the hormone trigger drop this will, and once it will corpus luteum will start to degenerate, so this will normally drop down the concentration of the progesterone, and this will trigger the shedding of the uterine lining, and the menstruation started, which will initiate the another cycle. Okay, so now you can see here, from here it is the normal case. So now the egg is, so till you see, till that period the wall, there is a growth in the endometrial wall. Now your endometrium, this, it is ready to implant. Okay, and now if there is no if sperm is not getting, is not fertilizing the egg, then normally corpus luteum, slowly it will die within 10 to 14 days, and due to that reason the progesterone level started to come down, and once the progesterone level started to come down, this will cause the shedding of the endometrium, which is already developed, and that will initiate the new cycle, which will start from again here. So this point will come to here. It's a very briefly I explained, and hope you have understood. It's a, even though to conceptualize it is very easy, but in actual case is a so much complicated. You see how many chemicals are involved, how, what are the mechanisms are involved. It's a very complicated process, and which will trigger when and what reason, so many things are unknown, and this uh, these things are thoroughly examined due to during in the case of infertility. Okay, so hope it will be useful to you. Thank you so much. Thanks for your patience.